All right. Hello, 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 and welcome everybody to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your host, Cloud Hudson. I'm feeling like it's the end of the day, and I took it one day at a time, and I did not drink alcohol today. I feel all of the reasons why I usually drink alcohol. I'm feeling all of them right now. Usually don't remember how angry I am at the world. Got a lot of rage inside. Yeah, so tonight I'm whispering. Because if I don't whisper in a sarcastically over-mic'd ASMR, sultry, close mic talking way, I'm going to scream so loudly that there are things I cannot say. Want the world to be better, and it is not. And if I want the world to be better, I have to be better in order to induce resonance and to get on the timeline where things are better. It is very hard to not drink when you are a stand-up comedian that lives in their parents' basement. You get very angry a lot. So this is going to be a weird vibe. And you must be asking yourself, well, Cloud, have you been drinking on all of these streams? Well, you're not watching me drink, but I'm not always angry. So I must have been using something to help me not be so angry. See, you want to know why my hair is green? I'm full of rage. I'm full of rage. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Just go ahead and pop in the chat what makes you angry. What are you upset about? What you feel like chatting about tonight? Go ahead and okay, it said chat rate 1, but then there were no chats, and then I just had to type to no one because OBS doesn't show me this in a good aspect ratio for some reason. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about something that doesn't make anyone angry. That would be, the weather. Right, the weather has never upset anyone ever, and the weather, as you know, never gets described as bipolar or manic or a maniac or a crazy storm or put the knife down. People don't say that about the weather. So let's go ahead into. I'm just going to do a very brief update today. Let's take a look at what our volcanoes have been up to today. Take a look at volcano view. So clearly we have... Let's take a look at any of our active eruption update. Okay, we do have a new update from the Rearcast Peninsula. Yes, maybe later I will support volcano discovery instead of just ripping off their hard work and putting it on my YouTube stream and calling it my own thing. We've got a lava flow map released April 8th showing the continued growing pile of lava between the Sunugskiger and Lidlehuter mounds. This is the extent of the lava flow from this current eruption. It is currently erupting. It's erupting less fast than it was before. The area has now covered about 6.14 square kilometers with a volume of 31.3 million meters cubed of lava. The thickest accumulations are observed near the crater and slightly to the south, where activity remains highest within the lava bed. There are no clear indications of lava advancing towards the dikes of North Grindavik, Sudstrangeveg, or Melhusnamu. Grindavik, Suderstrandaveg, or Melhusnamu. You know, I'm doing great. Thank you, Icelanders. I'm sure that you appreciate me taking a lot of time to learn how to pronounce your words. If you're just joining us tonight, I am whisper broadcasting, or else I might scream. Trying really hard not to disturb anyone, anything. I think if I let out a primal scream that describes my current level of anger, I would actually not only wake up the entire neighborhood, I would wake up the nearby volunteer fire department, and I think my screams would probably resonate with their fire alarm bells and shatter them like a broken wine glass. So, like an opera singer. If you don't know what's going on, I have been put on a treatment regimen in which I am not able to drink a silly little beverage, and I'm just seething with rage. I'm such an angry person. So I'm going to whisper instead of letting it out. It's a very weird treatment. It makes me just relaxed enough to be aware of the seething rage that boils underneath like this lava tongue. You know? You see this lava tongue here that's spilling out from the crater? It did just look like a little trickle that we were letting off steam. Now, I'm not letting off any steam, and I feel like my walls are going to collapse. But instead of doing that, I'm going to softly and quietly talk into a mic. You know how sometimes it's scarier when someone who's mad at you starts talking even quieter than you can even hear? That's how I want this to come off. That's how it's going to come off. I'm okay. Anger does not flow out of me the way that the lava tongue flows out of the Signuka crater. Cauldron of boiling lava. That sounds familiar. I really resonate with that on a spiritual level. I feel like a cauldron of boiling lava. I need to scream a lot, but I will not. Several hours lasting incandescent fluid lava overflow from the crater vent containing a cauldron of boiling lava. Situation stabilized around 21:30 local time. The northern cinder cone is still dominating the flow. And the one and only protagonist of the eruption is still the favorite phrase. I love that phrase so much. We are really characterizing, we are really, what's the word for when you make something into a human that's not a human? Not humanizing. It's like what they do to Mickey Mouse. Man, they medicated my brain so much I can't even remember any English class I've ever been in. Wow, that's exciting. That bell reminds me, let's take a look at what our earthquakes are doing instead of just sitting here thinking about how I feel like a volcano inside. Let's look at our earthquakes instead. I guess I'll have to make sure that I've got the right destination on that one. Okay, there we go. Let's see, earthquake 3D. So got a 1.9 rocking in New Jersey. Oh, that was a recent one. Let's see. Let's see what this most recent Jersey earthquake was. I'm actually gonna... Alright, so that is still considered aftershocks because that is in the area where we saw this eruption earlier. I thought it was the Hell Mountain. Yeah, something Hell. That's where we saw an aftershock today. That's where that was located. Wasn't the epicenter supposed to be somewhere around here? I didn't see any of that. But yeah, that's where the North Jersey earthquake is currently located. Let's go back to looking at our earthquakes. Let's go back to looking at our earthquakes, and that puts us with a 3.0 in the middle of Germany. Is this? I hate borders, but we'll turn it. Okay, no, that's in Poland. I think these borders are really old too, so I don't like keeping them on. I think they're not technically, well, I don't believe they're correct because I don't believe in political legitimacy of borders, but I also don't, I just think they're also out of date, even if they were correct. 5.1 here at the antipode of New Jersey. It's a fun fact. This area is the opposite side of the planet of New Jersey. 4s and 5s. Okay, can y'all pick a date and stick on it? Good Lord. Oh, man. This is really quite annoying, having all of my rage very at the surface and accessible. This would be really useful if I was in some sort of therapeutic situation. Unfortunately, I'm not. Nothing has changed except that my emotions are more accessible. Speaking of an upwelling of energy from deep, deep within something locked away and thought to be stone solid and buried forever, we had a deep earthquake coming out of just north of India, here in the Pakistan-Afghanistan border region, right at the point, the crest of that wave in the plate borders. Oh God, okay, this keeps jumping to show a week's worth of quakes. I'm just trying to show today. 5.0 here in China. Where is that not gonna show me 16 kilometer depth? Ripples of mid-range 4s and low 5s over here in the from Fiji to Papua New Guinea and all the way up the Philippines area. So right along this Eurasian plate boundary. And on other sides of, we are finally seeing fours into the Aleutian Islands, and those are not even, see how shallow those are. Some of those are relatively deep. So we are getting some good out of the plate motion in the, some good deep motion in the plate boundary here on the Aleutian Island chain in Alaska. A continued storm of very low magnitude quakes here in, let me actually take the magnitude back to like 2. Okay, so these are 2s and 3s. That's moderate. Let's show you where there's 4s. Yeah. We've continued to see aftershocks in New Jersey, but yeah, okay, well, you can just show me 3s. Okay, well, that's not 3, that's just the most recent one. We are seeing continued under 3s. We've only got here, and here. I would bet we're going to see something in Oklahoma soon, because we are missing the triangulation of 3, 3. We went into 4, but that was really transferring motion. That was cumulative of all of these other quakes. I feel like this swarm in East Texas, or West Texas, is not quite enough to have captured that 3 energy. So we're missing something here in the middle of the country. But as you can see, the motion is continuing to transfer through the plate boundary, is still hovering around Bryson City, North Carolina, and near Trump's golf course in northern New Jersey in the Berkshires. It's, of course, I'm sure there's nothing significant about those sites whatsoever geomagnetically on a global scale. Those probably random sites that mean nothing. We have a 4.3 off the coast of Mexico, the Guerrero coast. We also have continued getting stronger earthquakes in Puerto Rico. I don't know how everybody's faring with this, but this is a 3.4 at 91 kilometers depth. Most of them have been at 10 or 15 kilometers depth. Where's this 4.8? 10 kilometers depth, of course. Always. I don't even need to ask. But that is a new one on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. It's exciting. We've got fairly deep-looking ones coming out of here in South America. Let's see. Some fairly deep and some fairly shallow. Don't you jump back on me. See, I usually am so patient with my software, and today I'm so gentle with my software usually. Oh, this is a recent one, a recent 4.6, like since we started the broadcast. There was a 4.6 at 58 kilometers depth here off the coast of Ecuador. And that also tracks because there is a current eruption in the Galapagos. We didn't take a look at that today, but Fernandina is one of the Galapagos volcano islands off the coast of Ecuador that is currently erupting. We have 4s and 5s all throughout looks like those are mostly stationed around Peru, but they're both deep and shallow. And we have a 4.8 on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. So there seems to be a lot of earthquakes coming at all sides from towards this Iceland place where there is an active eruption ongoing. No one's here? It's fine. I don't have dreams or anything. Let's see. Let's take a look at our weather. Earlier today, the weather was angrier than I am. And it is still, we are getting a whooping down here. Pensacola was the last place I saw that was having some severe weather. We did see several tornadoes touch down. Louisiana had it really bad today. Parts of Mississippi, even after this big line of storms blew through, there was straight line wind damage that was up to 60 miles an hour behind the front. That was just really howling away. So that has been quite the sticky situation for them to deal with, and they're still at risk of this overnight flooding, or overnight rainfall, which is just a lot of flooding. Let's see, this is our current radar. Got a big line of storms starting off the Apalachicola coast, Panama City. From Panama City to Apalachicola is really where we're looking at these storms. Again, named after important group of people who are still here, just patiently waiting for us to go away. Severe thunderstorm warning continuing to happen. We're at a slight risk of severe weather all the way around here. I'd say that's a certain risk of severe weather. Flash flood warning in much of lower Georgia. And we are looking at, I can vouch that I am generally in the southern Appalachian region right now, and there is some very strong wind going on. Wonder if I have wind advisories on here. Do I? I don't think I have high wind advisories on here, but there is a high wind advisory in the area. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's just a bunch of flash floods. Don't worry, everyone. Your house is just gonna get swept away in the middle of the night. It's okay. It's alright, you have no sense of security. That's okay. Your root chakra isn't supposed to be grounded. It's totally fine to feel like your house could be here one day and gone the next. That's very normal. And I don't know why you're having a problem with it, and frankly, you should get your shit together. Your house could just be washed away at any minute, or blown up in a tornado, and, you're not in control of that. But that's because there's something here for the greater good, that in this United States, there is something going on for the greater good, and you need to, just accept that we need to be vulnerable to any extreme weather conditions that might randomly happen. It's just a place where weird weather happens, and we just need to accept it and be grateful. Don't bite the hand that feeds. Remember, you have nothing in common with your fellow man. Divide and conquer. You have absolutely no control over what's happening here. It's fine. Don't even think that you have control for once, ever. Never think that you have control. You couldn't possibly do anything to stop this, right? Oh, and no one can control the weather. Alright. It's very interesting to see these winds creating a bow echo out here, kind of like a inverse of the front, so you can see that where this stationary boundary is, we've got this big sweeping wind that's blowing almost like a gentle blowing across the top of a hot soup. Maybe I'll make some hot soup or hot tea. Maybe I'll have some chamomile tea. Maybe I just need to calm down with some nice tea. They'll make everything go away. Yeah, but you see this straight line. You see this line of wind right here. Just gentle breeze blowing. That creates this nice, beautiful arc, like ripples in a pond. Like ripples in a pond, or in the top of the soup, or in the top of the hot chamomile tea, which is the only fun little drink you're allowed to have. You know? Like that. Let's take some gentle breaths in. Remember to do your square breathing. In, hold, out, hold. In, hold, out, hold. Let's reset our vagus nerve. It's not working. It's not working. There it is. Reset on this side. Okay, that side's not going to reset. That's fine. That's okay. I accept that. I radically accept that the vagus nerve reset thing won't work on my right side for some reason. There's no reason. It's fine. Taking a look at the rest of the country. Looks like we are experiencing some flash flood watches out here in Utah. And finally, some of the southern moisture is making its way into the Rust Belt. I'm going to go back to looking at some analysis. Let's go to some analysis on looking at our... Oh, there it is. So our current watches, warnings, we're looking at special coastal flood watches and warnings here in Florida. High wind advisories all along the ridge tops of the Tennessee-North Carolina border. Pretty much all riverbanks and creek areas in Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas we're at a wind advisory all over the place here. We are in a winter storm warning for Nebraska, which is pretty fun. We're also looking at a coastal flood watch for much of the Chesapeake Bay region, and I forget what the one between Delaware and, I keep wanting to call Maryland Mars for some reason. Don't know why that's in my subconscious. That's funny. Maryland area and Delaware and New Jersey coast, we are looking at coastal flood watches, and that is different than other types of flood watches because it also involves the fact that we are nearing a high tide, and around new moons and around the squares and 1/3 areas in respect to the new moons. Yeah, we had some real severe weather go on today. we're in a flash flood warning in these areas. Warnings, not watches. But let's look at today's analysis, shall we? Let's see if we've got wind and mean sea level pressure. Oh god, that's just such an ugly graph. Can we see the low? I'd like to be able to change the graphics here. This is what we saw sweep through today, just this big change in sea level pressure. And behind the sea level pressure change, you can see the wind in knots getting up there into the 40 knots. That is nautical miles. That is not miles per hour. That is 40 knots. KT. That is really fucking fast wind. Approximately. Let's take a look at our observed precipitation for today. And wow, y'all, the fire hose of moisture from the tropics that takes a skateboard ramp leap off of the Mexican highlands is really showing off lately. This is 10-15 inches of rainfall in a day. Now, I know this is the bayou, I know this is the swamp, but that is a lot of water. That is a massive amount of water. That, can you imagine? You can't even imagine. Imagine a gallon of water getting dumped on you. Imagine just a gallon of water, how heavy that is. Have you ever picked up a gallon of water at the store? Imagine someone dropped that on you from just a few inches away. Take the wind out of your sails, right? Now imagine that just everywhere over all land at once. That would be quite a significant weight change. It'd be quite a significant pressure change if all that water was dumped on an area of land at once, wouldn't it? I'm sure it has nothing to do with earthquakes. Okay. I'm starting to sound a little crazy. Matches how I look, doesn't it? Then when we look at our 72-hour analysis, that's just not looking better. Let's take a look at 168-hour analysis. Yeah, wow, we're just getting spit up on all over the country. Great, we love to see it. I'm sure that recently fractured and seismically loose zone in North Jersey is going to handle more water really well. We are looking at potential day 6 enhanced risk. That is a wildly advanced time for the Storm Prediction Center to issue an enhanced risk of thunderstorms. So that is almost guaranteed to be something a-brewing in Oklahoma soon. See if we got any tornado. Day 2 tornado outlook. Nope. Day 1 tornado. Are we looking at any tornadoes tomorrow? Yeah. Possible tornadoes throughout the Ohio River, the Ohio border with West Virginia is where we are looking at a lot of tornadoes. That's where we saw tornadoes at the beginning of March, about a month ago. We're also looking at more risks in northern Florida, in that really armpit of Florida, the gooch of Florida. If, Pensacola's like the little castrated balls of the state, and this is the appendage, then this would be that little nasty place that men don't wipe. That's where, that part of Florida is where we're expecting to have some 5% risk of severe thunderstorms tomorrow. Long-lived MCS, that's a mesoscale convective system that developed over the Texas coastal plain earlier this morning has progressed. Blah, blah, blah. Primary upper trough is approaching the lower Mississippi Valley. Warm air advection will remain strong across the southeastern United States overnight. The ongoing MCS has overturned buoyancy inland. The strongest deep convection has now shifted offshore and will likely struggle to redevelop inland to any appreciable intensity overnight. Only a small portion of the northeastern Gulf Coast will remain in severe probabilities this evening. What a beautiful analysis by Darrow, Weather Officer Darrow from the Storm Prediction Center. That's a really good analysis. Not going to talk about the weather anymore. I'm going to switch to talking about the solar weather. Let's take a look at what the sun has been up to. Wow. Only 4 ejections today. Well, they were long ones too that had some pretty high velocities behind them. I wonder if we'll be able to see the... Oh yeah, that's pretty. That is pretty, even though it doesn't have a chance of a complete halo. It's still a beautiful coronal mass ejection, and we haven't gotten one like that in a while. That's so nice to see those just puffs, clouds, limbs overlap, like shimmering, beautiful, glassy water. Honestly, like a bunch of kids throwing rocks in the same stream. Trying to skip rocks across the same pond, but only one kid gets it. Take a look at the other one. Now that is at the same time there were 2 mass ejections, one from this side and one from this side. That one looks to be pretty powerful. Those are all probably from bright spots on the far side of the sun, however. Let's look at the far side. Yeah, they're looking at some... See if we gotta animate a GIF of the far side. I know what you're thinking, the far side, isn't that a cartoon strip? Oh yes, but no, that's not what we're talking about. The far side of the sun is where we're seeing some hot activity from. Right now, we're back up into the C-class flare territory today. So maybe we've gotten out of our little funk from yesterday. Maybe today we are getting back out there. And then also maybe we're feeling a little sad too. But maybe we're getting back out there even though we feel a little sad. Yep. That sure is data, alright. Do you guys like to watch me dissociate live on stream? I'm so good at it. Let's talk about our planetary weather. Alright. As the moon makes its way through the conjunction with Uranus and Jupiter, which are about to conjoin each other, we get a little taste of whatever we were emotionally feeling and physically going through with our bodies today is what is gonna climax on the conjunction on 420. So that'll be fun. Something to look forward to if you had a great day today. That'll be a really fun conjunction. Got Mercury ever nearing the conjunction with the Sun in retrograde in Aries. Venus still chugging along beautifully through Aries. She's the queen, she's the diva, she's the moment that all 3 of these are looking at. But unfortunately, the queen, the diva, the moment is in detriment in Aries. And as I described yesterday, that is not a fun placement. I have it natally, and it is very stressful, distressing, disturbing, causes a lot of erratic behavior. And we've got 3 planets dispositing towards her today. And everything in Aries is currently dispositing towards a Mars in conjunction with Saturn in Pisces. So what do you feel like is weighing you down, keeping you anchored to the bottom of the ocean? Maybe you feel like somebody who got tied to some cinder blocks with some chains and just drowned alive. What does that feel like for you? Well, that's what's coming up right now in the planets, in the stars, in the body. And, rage, fucking rage really is what a Venus in Aries that's looking towards a Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces with a Taurus moon conjoining our Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus feels like for me. It sounds very accurate. And maybe tomorrow we'll get to talk about that. We're going to get to talk about our feelings tomorrow as the moon moves into Gemini and makes a beautiful trine with Pluto and Aquarius. Remember all the things we're thinking about in the future, the impending future that's coming that we cannot stop but must only ride as if it's a wave. Let's see how all these things in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus that are coming up right now, feel how they fit into the future. If it's uncomfortable, good. That means you haven't figured it out yet. It's going to be a process. Probably a process that started with this eclipse season is going to continue through Taurus season. Taurus season, by the way, begins with this conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. So, that shall be fun. I don't even really want to do a card reading today, but I'm going to do one that comes with a what is weird about staring at a solar eclipse as often as it occurs. Great content and channel. Thank you so much, Paul Millsap. I really appreciate that. I really needed that today. Really needed just a little bit of encouragement, so thank you so much. Our planetary weather for today is going to come from the liminal space deck, because that feels like whispering to me. I have to shuffle my cards quietly. I have so many thoughts. I have so many thoughts right now that I am not going to share publicly online. But I'm very aware of how my thoughts and feelings are connected right now and where they come from, what they're doing here in my body. Very aware of it. Very aware of it. Alright, let's see what the liminal space deck brought us today. It just brought us to the liminal space. That's what it says. So, this one is entitled Welcome to the Liminal Space. So that's what the cosmic universe is bringing us right now. That's our cosmic weather for today. The weather for beyond the planets and beyond the sun. This is the energy, this is the weather, This is the is it rainy or sunny? This is the that, but for the cosmic scale. Welcome to the liminal space. It's a place of transition. It's a place of not knowing. It's a place of intermediacy and indeterminacy, but also a place where you are absolutely entitled to be. You are absolutely entitled to be in your car in the parking lot. That's a liminal space. You're absolutely entitled to be in a random elevator in an abandoned building. That's a liminal space. You're entitled to be in a modern day mall. That's a very liminal space. Let's see what the deck has to say for itself with that card. Sometimes this doesn't give you a very alphabetical. This isn't a very well alphabetized. Like it'll say. Okay, I'm just going to read what's at the beginning of the deck. Welcome to the liminal space. Chances are you are already here, in that silent airport, empty stairwell feeling of a place, in the inevitability and agony of aliveness of an unanswered now. The liminal space is the recognition of the present moment as a threshold, the awareness that what we are in between, what was and what will be. This sensation has always been and will forevermore be the reason why humans reach for magic. Transient, dark, and unstable, those who dare to brave the void find themselves at the depth of the mystery. What is revealed behind these walls and under these floorboards will unearth the weakest and mightiest of our humanity and divinity. It is the muse of the brave hearts, seekers, artists, visionaries, scientists, and philosophers. The potency of a fully realized, present in its sometimes ugly but always beautiful truth. You are not alone in this uncertain space. For some reason, the liminal space is giving me images of T-posing. I see somebody T-posing as the image of the liminal space. And it kind of looks like these trees are T-posing right now. Just like, don't know what's going on. Was Jesus T-posing? Was Jesus on the cross the ultimate first T-pose? What's it mean? What's it mean? I don't know. I'll have to find out. Alright. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Paul Millsap, for commenting and being very kind. I love you all very much, even though I seemed enraged tonight. It's only because I was. But will I be less enraged tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. I might still be in a just furious fit of rage tomorrow. So check back tomorrow for how we're doing emotionally. Great to be here. Great to be here. Love you all very much. Good night.